Hey everybody, round two. So anyway, after the trainer kite and you got that down and you're playing with it, the best way to learn and start with that is to play with the trainer kite on land. And that way you're not having the whole element of the lower half of your body playing with the board skills. So you play with the trainer kite on snow, on the beach, in a park, football field, wherever. We talked about the wind. You want clean winds, so don't go out where there's a bunch of trees or houses. You want big open space so you have clean wind, steady. You don't want stuff tumbling past trees and houses and then you're trying to play with the kite in that way and it's not going to work. So anyway, the trainer kite, practice on land. The next step you're going to need is board skills. And the sport is got a steep learning curve, but it's short. And that's because you're learning this whole concept of the wind window, balance, your upper body movements, steering, all that. And then the other half of your body, the lower half, you're learning your board skills and how to steer and feel the board out. I think a lot of people will agree with me, it's easier to learn on snow with skis and then board. But some people are on the ocean, so you're going to learn on the water. And I think it's easier to learn on snow because you could just stand up anytime you want and just kind of skid down and scoot with your skis. And here's the misconception. A lot of people think that you're just going to go downwind. You don't ever really go directly downwind when you're kiting. So that's the biggest thing. People think they got to steer the kite after they learn the wind window and all that. All that goes out the window when they get ready to go because they're trying to go downwind. You don't. You're tacking downwind side to side and you're tacking upwind side to side. You don't ever go directly downwind with the wind. You go at an angle downwind and an angle downwind that way. So keep that in mind. And then as you put more board pressure on, and we'll get into this too, but as you put more board pressure on and how you steer your kite all the way to the left or to the right of the wind window, and sometimes you got to pump your kite over on the left side. That's why the whole figure eight concept, practice moving it and feel how fast it turns and understand the speed at which it moves through the air. So those are the concepts that you're playing with, you know, all your kite skills and your board skills. So, you know, if you ride skateboards or you snowboard or you ski or you wakeboard, great. You pretty much have it down. And a better way to fine tune your board skills is to get a kite surfing board and go behind a wave runner or a boat. It's a lot more skittish with a kite surfing board than it is a normal wakeboard. The fins are different, the bend of the board, everything is different. And if you can ride behind a jet ski on a kite surf board, then you'll have that down of what's going on. It's a little bit different. You don't use a wakeboard for kite surfing. It's a kite specific board. And you also, you can use a snowboard for snow, and you can use skis, but snowboards typically, you know, you have your edges over here and then they get cut. This is a drastic manipulation, but here's your bindings, right? So this whole area right here, this is cut out of the board, but you need that right there. So there's more boards specific to having this straight or even out a little bit, because that's your cutting edge. That's how you're going to dig in. If you take all that out and your typical board is cut out, you're not going to have anything to grab right there. So, excuse me, boy, that marker puts out an odor. So anyway, you're going to have a little bit of a challenge, but you don't have to go out and buy a brand new board just to start understanding the concept on snow. Yes, guys are kite surfing on land using a land board with wheels, big skateboards. If you have a mountain board and you're really good at it, then you'll be good at this, but land is the least forgiving to learn on with a board because you have wheels. Water is obviously a lot softer to land and fall in, and snow is a lot easier to typically fall in, you know, unless it's iced over. A lot of lakes in Colorado is iced over, not much snow, and if there is much snow, then the wind just takes the snow away. So Colorado isn't ideal to learn. Plus, the wind here is so punchy, gusty, and unpredictable for the most part compared to nice areas like we talked about in La Ventana where the thermals, the warmth creates, and the whole land mass heats up. And as that heats up, actually this is worth getting into. I can't remember if I went into detail about that or not, but now's a good time. So you have this big open land mass, and this is kind of a big open valley, right? Well, as this valley heats up, because this is the water, as this valley heats up, the warm air rises. And so it's pulling, something's got to fill that gap. So the cold air fills that gap, and it comes in and goes to the land and heats up, and it creates a thermal. So it turns on, the wind turns on at the same time just about every day, and turns off at the same time just about every day. And that's considered more of a thermal type temperature wind thing. And you have a nice steady blow. Colorado, you got the mountains, you got the clouds, you've got, it's not as smooth as that. But anyway, the conditions on lakes are typically iced over or hard packed. You know, they're doable. They're doable. But nothing's like Utah, Idaho, Montana. One year we were up there at the Skyline Drive, and it was 5 feet of powder, and it was just amazing. Everyone had a great time. They were high marking on the cornices, just like snowmobiles do, because you can go uphill with the kite, and you can go up over the hill, and you can come back down. You can go up sideways, however you want. You can come down and float and glide off. So a lot of people, I think, are lured into kite surfing thinking it's more of a hang glide type thing where they're going to fly, where they can just put the kite in the air and kind of jump off a cliff. That's not the case. You need to get into hang gliding or paragliding or something other than kite surfing if you're into wanting to just jump off things and think. You can do that after you've mastered the skills of the kite and your board skills, and you come down a mountain and you steer your kite, and so you can kind of go off the mountain, you know, the hills here, and you can just kind of float down, and that's pretty cool. But you also really have to know what you're doing. One, a line can break and you're screwed, or you get twisted. Your kite's still staying there, but the lines will cross. So now everything's opposite. So you want to keep that in mind too. And once again, respect the wind, respect the sport. Safety, safety, safety is the absolute must on this. But if you've already got your board skills and you've got your trainer kite practice down, then you're ready to get into some gear and learn how to disengage and play with seat harnesses and waist harnesses, and we'll talk about that on the next one. We'll get you dialed in and what you do safety-wise and how you get rigged up with stuff like that. So once again, if you're looking to get a trainer kite, I, of course, always have some available, and I take the whatever you spend on any learning class as far as a video, a trainer kite, or any progression series video, I'll deduct that off the price of a kite when you get a bigger kite. So basically it's free to get into the sport. I don't know if anybody else is offering that out there. I'm not pushing sales, I'm not promoting it. I just want to see people get the best deal for the best money and get dialed in with the right information and approach this safety. And once again, we'll go into leashes with the gear. We talked about helmets, absolute must. You should always wear a helmet, especially starting out. There's a lot of people that don't. That's their risk. Oceans, there's probably not so much more, but around trees, houses, cars, and other kiters, or hard packed snow, you want to be wearing a helmet, definitely. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next one, and we'll talk about some of the gear, the harnesses, waist harnesses, seat harnesses, and your leashes. All right, bye for now.